What's cracking, everybody? Hello and welcome to a special edition of Elder Dragon Hijinks. We got our second deck reveal.
We sure do. We've got the quick draw deck from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Thank you to Wizards of the Coast for letting us show off all these new goodies just for you.
So if you are a spell-slinging individual, you're gonna like this one.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
We're going to start off with the Commander, Stella Lee Wild Card. 1 blue-red for a legendary human rogue that's a 2/4. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. Tap, copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Activate only if you cast 3 or more spells this turn.
Ooh, I sense a storm coming along.
There's a big storm coming.
Oh, this is rough. 3 mana too. She's gonna get out and do some real dirty things real quick.
Definitely want to be ready to, queue up a second spell or have a bunch of low-cost stuff in hand for her to have the most effectiveness, but yeah. Next up is Crackling Spellslinger, 3 red for a human wizard that's a 2/2. She has Flash. When Crackling Spellslinger enters the battlefield, if you cast it, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn has Storm.
Yeah, okay. That's not terrifying at all.
She is 5 to get out.
Yeah, that is quite expensive.
It feels
like
a little more
finisher.
Late game, haha.
Yeah, or you've got like a bunch of spells in exile that you can cast for free or something to that effect.
That's a good way to look at it as well, yeah.
Up next is Elemental Eruption. 4 red for a sorcery. Create a 4/4 red dragon elemental creature token with flying and prowess. Oh boy, Storm. Haha. So all those spells or all those abilities that are like, hey, copy the next spell you cast. You copy that, you get more dragons with prowess that then trigger off of the copies, and then Storm.
Yeah, my brain already hurts. I don't know if I'm ready for this deck.
This looks painful.
Yeah. Well,
I'm glad these guys don't have haste, but I'm pretty sure that there's a way to give.
No,
them
I can't imagine
deck,
there's a way in red to give anything haste. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Super out of the pie. Well, next up, we've got Eris, Roar of the Storm. 8 and Izzet for a legendary elemental warlock that's a 4/4. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each different mana value among instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Flying, prowess. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 4/4 red dragon elemental creature token with flying and prowess.
Wow, okay. So the second commander in this deck.
Yes.
Looks pretty cool.
You're basically just
like
actively rewarded for doing a ton of stuff fast.
Yeah. So if your ideal turn, right? So 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana. That's already like a 6 discount on turn. You could get this out on turn 4 if you curve right.
Yeah. Bananas. Oh goodness.
Yeah, or even if you just draw late, or then it's just a 2 mana 4/4. Oh, and then you can cast it afterwards and just make a dragon immediately.
Yep.
Oh, okay. This seems terrifying.
Strap in, everybody. You gotta use your thinkies for this one. Next up is Forger's Foundry, 2 and a blue for an artifact. Tap, add blue. When you spend this mana to cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 3 or less, you may exile that spell instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard as it resolves. 3 blue, tap. You may cast any number of spells from among cards exiled with Forger's Foundry without paying their mana costs. Activate only as a sorcery.
Yeah,
Found it.
That whole thing we said about free spells. Here you go.
Yeah, you want, oh goodness. Definitely want that out and using it to cast your instants and sorceries as fast as you can. Then just pay 5, storm, and storm again.
Yeah. Goodness.
Ooh, boy.
This could go pretty sweet in your Gandalf deck.
Yes, it could. That's an excellent point. Because I do, there's a lot of, it's
More
just
brain hurt.
More brain hurt, but also, if brain not hurt, cool stuff. I do like that part, so may have to get in on that. So yeah, Forger's Foundry, neat.
Very
neat.
Leyline Dowser is 2 colorless for an artifact with 1 and tap to mill a card. You may put an instant or sorcery card milled this way into your hand. Tap an untapped legendary you control to untap Leyline Dowser. Oh, man.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some nonsense you can do with this for sure.
I'm sensing...
Like, not even just in this deck, but like any deck.
Yeah.
That cares about spells.
If you've got a bunch of legendaries or you're running in something that's legendary matters, and you can tap a bunch of stuff down and just start getting stuff out of the bin. Yeah, it's not...
Yeah, dig it through. I mean, yeah, that could... Imagine if you put this in like a reanimator deck. Yeah. Just keep putting
it's really,
stuff in the bin
I mean,
until
that's
you
the thing.
find Rise of the Dark Realms.
Yeah, it's actually pretty useful in strategies other than this one as well. Just anything that's you're gonna want things going into the bin. This yeah. Spicy
I like
little
it. That's
enabler.
cool.
All right.
Lock and Load is 2 and a blue for a sorcery that says draw a card, then draw a card for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast this turn. Plot 3 and a blue. Ooh, this is a new mechanic.
That's right. Plot's mechanic is you may pay 3 and a blue and exile this card from your hand. Cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. Plot only as a sorcery.
Oh, okay. So kind of suspend, kind of foretell.
Yeah. It's a payment plan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do now, save for later. Because you can't do it. It has to be on a later turn. And it's a sorcery.
And it's free.
Yeah. And it's free. So you're just...
Gross.
It's an advance payment.
So you're just putting all of your money in the town's bank, and then you're gonna go and do a robbery, and they're gonna take all your money and your gold, and then pew, 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 there's gonna be a big old shootout, right? That's what's happening?
Next up, we have Pyretic Charge. 4 and a red for a sorcery. Discard your hand, then draw 4 cards. For each card discarded this way, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Plot 3 and a red.
Oh, yeah, this is pretty cool finisher.
Yeah.
So, I mean, okay.
Can
let
be
me just
used
put it
as.
out there.
Yes.
Yes. So, we know we're committing crimes in Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
crimes.
So this is like...
Let's be real.
Plot is like perfect villain material, right? Because we always know that the bad guy monologues their plan out, so plot is just like, you know what's coming, but it's still gonna suck.
Plot, I mean, listen, we're committing crimes every day. Wizards of the Coast just finally gave it a name. Made
And I
it
would
a
like to say
mechanic.
that all the blue mages, you're all criminals, because counter target, return target.
Crimes. We do love a good crime.
Okay, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So if you have a bunch of, useless cards in your hand, if you've been drawing all lands, just chuck them.
Or even if you just have a lot of cards in your hand from
Yeah.
any number of reasons.
Yeah, and then you draw 4.
And you still get cards out of it. So even if you discard a bunch, it's not like you're completely empty-handed, right? Like you will still have some gas in the tank for anything else coming down. So, yeah.
And anything that cares about card draw like this will definitely give it some gas.
Sure will. All right, next up.
Oh, look, Olivia, it's a vehicle. Your other favorite
I
artifact.
do love a vehicle. It's true. We've got a Smoldering Stagecoach. It's 3 and a red for a vehicle that is star 5. Smoldering Stagecoach's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Whenever Smoldering Stagecoach attacks, the next instant spell and the next sorcery spell you cast this turn each have Cascade. Crew 2.
Okay, that's cool.
It's
okay,
fun.
so it's Crackling Drake vamped up here a little bit. This is
yeah.
cool.
I like it.
So
My only thing is,
Tweets a Crew is really cheap.
yeah, I do appreciate the next instant and sorcery having Cascade.
So if I cast an instant, that's going to cascade. The cost the instant, cascade goes off. If I get a sorcery off that, that's the one that cascades.
It does say the next instant and the next
one,
sorcery.
Yeah, so instant into sorcery, cascade. Wow, okay. Yeah, that could definitely get you storming off.
For sure.
Good grief. And then finally for the new cards, we've got Thunderclap Drake. Oh, 2 mana, 2/1, and it flies. Love to see it. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. 2 in a blue, sacrifice Thunderclap Drake. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone in this game. Okay, so that one, it's kind of cool.
This can live
But also,
this
how
can
many
live
ti-
elsewhere. And remember, our commanders
Yeah.
can be as low as 2 or 3 for this deck.
True.
So depending on how you play this out and when you get this buddy.
Oh yeah, because Eris, the discounts on them, that can pay for commander tax, right?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, because it's just 2 colorless less.
Yeah.
And that's part of the casting.
So, then you can just blank in and out.
Yeah,
and
so
if
you
it
could
dies
actually...
a bunch, then Thunderclap Drake gets really, really good with Eris.
Yeah.
More so than with Stella, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, and Stella also copies. I'm just gonna say, good luck to whoever decides to wield this deck, because it looks far too complicated for my tiny brain that just likes to turn things sideways.
Izzet Brains Unite. We're here for all of you and can't wait to see what you do with this.
Yes. So long as you tell us what's happening, we'll just nod our head and say, okay, how much damage am I doing?
It's true. These are actually really cool, though. I mean, like, obviously all of these are going to be fun with themselves and within this deck.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some spice for the 99 that you can move around. And still, both these legendaries would be fun to build around, so...
Yeah, definitely.
Way cool.
Spell decks are super sweet and lots of way to make spells cheap. So speaking of the 99, let's take a look at the reprints for Quick Draw.
For the artifacts, we're running an Arcane Signet, a Cursed Mirror, Izzet Signet, Midnight Clock, Winged Boots, and of course, Soul Ring.
The 2 cards that kind of piqued my interest in the artifacts are Cursed Mirror, because we've seen what a couple of the really, really stupid creature cards are, and Midnight Clock. So, you know, once you've gone through your entire deck because, oops, I draw a bunch of cards, you just stick them all back in your library.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
For our creatures, we're running Archmage Emeritus, Bloodthirsty Adversary, Electrostatic Field, Goblin Electromancer, Gutter Snipe, Haughty Djinn, Kaza Royal Chaser, Murmuring Mystic, Niv-Mizzet Perun, Octavia Living Thesis, Terramander, Stormkiln Artist, Talrand Sky Summoner, Third Path Iconoclast, Veyran Voice of Duality, and Young Pyromancer.
I mean, this is just all the creatures you want to see in a spell slinger deck, right?
Octavia's inclusion here pleases me.
That's so cool. Rachel will love that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. I mean, I can't imagine how many instants and sorceries are in here to, like, warrant this inclusion and make sure it's going to be something that regularly is contributing to a game. So, yeah, it'll be a little while to see all that. Obviously, yes, of course, everyone, Electrostatic Field is a creature, but what a name, right? I just had to troll that a little bit.
It's just there to ding
just
you
being
every
a buddy.
time you cast
Yeah,
an
it's all
instant.
good.
Yeah. You know, if you want to close out a game without actually having to do any combat damage, Electrostatic Field and Gutter Snipe will get you
That
there.
sure will.
And then also, you know, there's a bunch of expensive stuff in this deck, so Stormkiln Artist, perfect inclusion. You know, a bunch of ways to make little idiots with Third Path Iconoclast and Young Pyromancer, copying spells, Niv-Mizzet too. Oh boy, you are gonna ping and dang the living daylights out of everyone.
Just waiting for what you're going to say there. Much to an Enchantress's chagrin, we're only running 3 in this deck. We have Arcane Bombardment, Propaganda, and Shark Typhoon.
That's one of your favorites, at least.
I mean, listen, we're going to be casting non-creature spells. Why not get flying sharks for it?
I was talking about Propaganda, but, you know.
I was talking
Shark
about,
Typhoon is-
Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon.
The coolest one here, though, is Arcane Bombardment.
No, it's Shark
anyone
Typhoon.
who is actually... Okay. Anyone here who's figured out how this card actually works, yeah, you're going to be doing some dumb stuff with it.
Are you saying I'm not smart enough for Arcane Bombardment? Because you're right.
It's a very, very powerful card, so, oh boy.
What a surprise, we're going to be running some instants and sorceries in this deck, so here we go. For the instants, we've got Arcane Denial, Big Score, Chaos Warp, Dig Through Time, Galvanic Iteration, Opt, Pongify, Radical Idea, and Think Twice.
I do love how essentially the most expensive instant in this is Big Score. But not even, because it still gives you 2 mana to work with once you've cast it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not bad.
Just a bunch of cheap ways to interact.
You mean you're not hard casting Dig Through Time?
Oh, hell no. I mean, I've seen Dig Through Time cost for 8 mana at the Pro Tour, and it was not fun.
Oh,
let me tell
boy.
You. That hurt. That hurt on the inside. So,
I bet it did.
That's going to be cheap.
All right. For the sorceries, we're going to be running quite a few. We've got Baral's Expertise, Curse of the Swine, Deep Analysis, Epic Experiment, Expressive Iteration, Faithless Looting, Finale of Promise, Finale of Revelation, Mizzix's Mastery, Ponder, Preordain, Rousing Refrain, Serum Visions, Tezzeret's Gambit, Treasure Cruise, Vandal Blast, Volcanic Torrent, and Windfall.
So, as expected, more ways to interact. couple ways to kill things, but definitely a whole lot of card draw here, and ways to cast, 3 spells in one, looking at things like a Finale of Promise, Mizzix's Mastery. Ugh,
Yeah.
If you cast this in this deck with the right creatures out and enchantments,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some scooping.
And definitely between all of these, both the instants and sorceries, there are enough to start getting those cost reductions. So yeah, there's some wild stuff.
Some
in here.
spice in here,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's going to be a very
draw
fidgety
so many
deck.
cards.
Lots of
Yeah.
actions per turn.
I definitely want to have Niv Mizzet out when I'm casting a Treasure Cruise for 1. I am just putting that out there.
Just saying.
And then another, and then Storm.
Right.
I mean, heck, if you wanted to upgrade this deck with even more Storm stuff,
Is
I don't know,
bananas.
Grape Shot, maybe.
Yeah.
Chuck that in there just for the lulz.
Finishing off the deck, we've got our lands: Cascade Bluffs, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Ferris Lake, Frostboil Snarl, Izzet Boiler Works, Reliquary Tower, Sheevan Reef, Sulphur Falls, Temple of Epiphany, and Temple of the False God.
The most important land in the bunch here is Reliquary Tower. You want that.
Yeah.
And if you were to upgrade this, perhaps chuck a Thought Vessel in there, Seagate Restoration, perhaps. There's definitely some other nonsense you can put in
There's
here,
definitely
for sure.
upgrade options here, but it seems like it's pretty solidly built as far as what
Yeah.
you're doing and how it's going to synergize with itself. So it's definitely something that you can tune and make your own, and it will still be a boss.
Yeah, this deck looks fun. And I like playing precons a bunch because it means someone smarter than me made me a deck that works, so...
That can definitely be true. Also, precons are great little ways to
They are.
start off with a fixed amount of dollar dues and then go from there and make the deck your own. Find weird stuff, find old stuff, shove your pet cards in that you insist on playing no
Yes.
matter what, as long as they fit the colors, and yeah, go to town.
So let us know in the comments what you think could be added to this if you're going to upgrade it, what you think of the deck overall, and if you like this video and you want us to reveal more decks, then leave a thumbs up, because that helps a bunch.
Thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for letting us preview this for y'all. We hope you found it interesting. Again, do the comment, like, subscribe, chat with us, and tell us what you like and what you think you might do with it, and yeah, we'll catch you next time. Oh boy.
Anyway, quick draw. Pew!